Hey, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about something I did a long time ago. And because The World Ends With You has an anime and it's getting a sequel, so today I have decided to talk about the time in high school that I wrote a live action adaptation of The World Ends With You. I was in high school and I wrote this. So today I'm going to tell you the actual story, or I don't have the script anymore. It's long gone. So yeah, here's The World Ends With You, live action adaptation made by me. The game came out in 2008, I think, if I remember correctly, but I did not play it till 2010, 2011. I remember seeing Dream Drop Distance and seeing that these characters were going to be in Kingdom Hearts. I was like, you know what, let's do some research, find out more about these characters. So The World Ends With You was on the DS. I was going to buy it, but my brother said that the gameplay was hard and unique and I wasn't gonna like it, so I was like, alright, cool, I guess I won't play it. But then he ends up buying it and was like, yo, you should play this game, and I was like, alright, I see how it is. You just want the game for yourself. So, freshman in high school was like 2010 for me. This guy, can you believe this face, was once a freshman in high school? Yeah. Little old me, I was just playing video games, having fun. The things that high schoolers do. I had a cinema class for an elective. So I was like, okay, cinema, I'll see what I can do with that. And actually, I'm kind of glad that I took cinema because it became like a passion for me. So now I'm like a film major and all that stuff. I know how to edit, I know how to write scripts, and it feels good. Alright, I digress. Alright, so there was a cinema after school program where you actually like have a little team, you write scripts, you come up with ideas. And I was enjoying myself, but the thing is, I was a freshman in high school, so I wasn't really talking as much. And the instructor told me, if you want to like start in this like field, start writing your ideas down, start writing scripts. You'll eventually grow, and people will see your ideas if they're good. Also, I am ashamed of this, but well, not really, well, I kind of am, but whatever. In high school, in middle school / high school, I was a weeb, I was a nerd, I was a geek, and I did some writing. Writing is something I always done, or just creating in general. That includes fan fiction. So when I played The World Ends With You, I was like, wow, this is a really great story. Like, this is deep. This is getting me in my feels, man. Like, this needs to be spread to like everyone in the world. And but not everyone plays video games. How can we spread the message of The World Ends With You to a bigger audience? Why not write a script? So I guess The World Ends With You adaptation was like the first like quote unquote script I started to write that was like different from the other stuff I was writing. But at the same time, I threw a little like a little bit of me in there, because I was like an emotional wreck of a teenager. Basically, it's my OC, just in The World Ends With You, but different. Alright, so that's a little backstory. I wrote 10 pages of this. I remember writing 10 pages. It ended at day 1. I remember that. So before I get started, I also wrote 10 pages of this script, like 10 legit pages with dialogue and action and characters. But I didn't finish it. But on the sidelines, I also wrote out things that was going to happen in the script. I actually wrote beginning, middle, and end. This is right here, an exclusive look at the live action adaptation of The World Ends With You. So enough talking, enough background, let's get started. The film starts off with an overhead of the city, and of course the city I chose for this is Los Angeles, a little bit of Hollywood, a little bit of like, I don't know, other parts. Since I'm from Hollywood, we see people walking, the busy streets of Hollywood. And then we get this kid named Daniel. Daniel was on his way to school. He has a backpack on. He has some sort of style. I wanted to keep that style of TWEWY, like with the clothing, and bring it to life. So Daniel wakes up in the middle of the street, and he sees people walking past by him. He's hearing voices. Cars are going through him. Eventually walks around, he's wondering what's going on. And then creatures come in. They start attacking. He dodges. So he decides to run away because he's scared out of his life. So he runs away, and this is where like the montage began, kind of like in the game where it's like the opening scene. He's running around the city, and he meets like the different players that are playing the game, and then it shoots up in the sky and it says the Reaper's Game. That's what I called the script when I was writing this. It's called the Reaper's Game. I didn't know if I wanted to keep that same name. Reaper's Game is usually, it sounds fitting. Like they're playing the Reaper's Game, so I thought that was a good title. He's running away, and then he's cornered. He doesn't know what to do. And then this girl comes in. Hey, I need you to help me, and I can help you. Form a pack with me, and we can get through this together.
And he doesn't know what she's talking about.
But, he wants to survive, so he forms a pack with this girl. I don't think I have a name for this girl. I don't think I wrote one. But for the sake of this video, we can call her Melissa. Is that a good name? Melissa. So they form a pack, and she has a knife with her. She uses a knife to fight. This is where I didn't know if I wanted to make an adaptation. Like, I knew I wanted to adapt The World Ends With You, but I also wanted it to be its own thing, So it's inspired by The World Ends With You. As much as I wanted to give her that Mr. Mew plushie, I kind of wanted it to be its own thing. She does have a keychain of Mr. Mew, but she doesn't use it to fight. She uses a knife, and I'll explain that later in the story. Daniel has no weapon, so he tells her, like, how am I supposed to fight if I have nothing to use? So Melissa gives him a pin. He's like, here, use this, just focus really hard and you're able to use it. So he's like, okay. And it's the fire pin that you get in the game, the beginning pin. These pins are actually real, and I actually wore them on my backpack on the strap. So I kind of got the idea for Daniel to have the pins equipped like on his backpack strap. So he uses it, they team up, and it's like, okay, so we defeated the noise. That's what they're called, the monsters, if you didn't know. We defeated the noise. Like, what do we do now? And Melissa goes up to him, like, didn't you get the text message? We're supposed to go to the land of the stars. And he's like, what does that mean? He's like, didn't you get your text message? And at the time, I kind of based the character, if you didn't notice, I kind of based Daniel off of me, except without the style. When I was in high school, I couldn't afford a phone. Well, I had a phone, but I couldn't afford, like, unlimited texting and calling. So I had minutes. I don't know if that's still a thing. So I couldn't afford texting. So I kind of wanted to put that joke in the script, in the story. And I also got the idea from The World Ends With You, a bridge series. It's like 4 episodes long, and it was hilarious. When Nick was like, I can't afford texting, I wanted to put that line in the screenplay. Alyssa is like, hey, you didn't get the text message explaining like the rules of the game we're playing? Like, we're playing a Reaper's game of some sorts. He's like, I can't afford texting. All he received was go to the Land of the Stars, which was the Chinese theater in Hollywood. Oh yeah, they also have a timer, which I kind of skipped over. So once they made their pact, their mission starts. 60 minutes to get to the Chinese theater of Hollywood. I made that to 10-4. They go, and we made it, and then we're introduced to the villains, the Reapers of this film. And of course, the Reapers have this goth-esque style, so I kind of kept that in the film too. I don't have names for the Reapers, but I know there was going to be like 5 of them. I didn't go that far into the story when I was writing it, but I feel like I wrote like 5 or 6. But they make it to the Chinese theater. The Reapers try to, fool them into fighting each other, but they break free, and then, they just go to sleep, I guess. I think they go to sleep. I don't know. Like, I think they go to sleep. I don't know. It's never explained how the day ends. So that's day 1 of the Reaper's Game. So day 2 of the Reaper's Game is where they get more character development. I guess this is where they finally like introduce each other. Like, hey, my name's Daniel. My name's Melissa. Nice to meet you. Like I said, the themes in The World Ends With You is like it's very like deep. I wanted to keep those lessons you learn in The World Ends With You, like those real like emotional themes, into this screenplay. There's a reason why Melissa has a knife. She slowly tells her story, and she has a knife because she hates who she is. She doesn't like who she's becoming. It keeps her safe, but at the same time, it's like messing with her. And the design I did for her, she has like ribbons around her arm. People go through that, and I wanted to show this message, like, don't hurt yourself in any way. Daniel, I don't know, I couldn't think of anything. It was just him being a like edgy teenager. He hates people, he doesn't know who his real friends are, all that stuff. So I wanted the two to have their own problems, and hopefully they can help each other out. So day 2, if I remember correctly, I wanted the music to be a part of this film because The World Ends With You has amazing music, and I wanted that in this film. I made music a part of the story. Day 2 was like a small mission to go to the center of music. In Los Angeles, we have a guitar center. Famous people go there all the time. So yeah, so day 2 advances their character. So day 3 is the middle, and we get introduced to 2 new players, and these 2 players are a couple. There's a mission like at a park or like this little mall outlet, like have this battle where there's people involved. I guess this is where like the first boss comes in. But before we get there, we meet the couple. They don't have a name. I didn't come up with a name for them. These 2 players, one is a soccer player, and just like Beat, you know how Beat uses his skateboard, like it's part of his personality. I wanted something like that for this character, so I made him a soccer player. He used a soccer ball to fight the noise. Like I said, I wanted this to be an adaptation, but also like its own thing, inspired by The World Ends With You. So yeah, he's a soccer player, and his girlfriend is an artist. So the way she fights is like she'll draw, and like the drawing comes to life for like a few seconds, and they fight for her. So they meet each other, they get to know each other, they go to the park, they see like a bunch of noise, they fight the big noise, and I guess that was the end of day 3. You know, we get introduced to these 2 characters. So then we go to day 4. Day 4, just like they have to find this little like artifact in the middle of the city. This is where one of the Reapers decides to have fun. The Reaper wants to distract the players, waste their time so they get eliminated from the game. Of course, I will show like the Reapers like talking among themselves, like speaking like, oh, how many players are left, you know, what's their plan and all that. In day 4, while Melissa and Daniel were walking around, Daniel bumps into someone. This someone, I wanted it to be Joshua. So as they're walking through the city, they bump into someone, like, oh man, sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. But they're kind of confused, like, wait, don't we go through like people? I see a player, and the guy's like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, the flamboyant Joshua, we know, like, oh, don't worry about it. Accidents happen. Whenever you need help, I'll be there for you. You know, hinting that maybe Joshua will come in later into the film. While Daniel and Melissa are walking around, they see their new friends in trouble. They try helping the couple, but they fail. So I wanted people to die. I wanted to show a death in this film. So that's why I put the couple in. Kind of like how Rhyme died. I wanted someone to die. I wanted someone to die. I don't know who I wanted to die. I just wanted someone to die. It could have been the artist or the soccer player. I wanted to have that same thing that Beat went through, where he was like just full of anger and he became a Reaper himself. But I think we're gonna kill the soccer player, just because. While they're fighting this Reaper, they all get taken down. The Reaper laughs and he sees like someone's vulnerable, so she goes for the final attack, and she goes for the artist, and the soccer player decides to jump in front of the attack. The way I wanted to film this was the soccer player running towards the artist. It was going to be first person, the camera running towards the artist, and then when they turn around, you see spikes. So you see the spikes coming towards you, and eventually it will cut off, and you'll get the static effect. When you die and the world ends with you, it becomes all staticky and it says game over. So I wanted to put that into the film. I guess you can say Daniel and Melissa get really mad that this happened in front of them, that they do like an all-out attack and they defeat the Reaper. And the artist is like left alone grieving. Another Reaper comes in and it's like, hey, you can use the anger with us if you join our ranks of a Reaper. She's like full of emotion. Her boyfriend just died in front of her eyes, so she's feeling like vulnerable. She feels like the Reapers will give her comfort, but of course Daniel and Melissa tell her not to, but she doesn't listen. This is where her art skills come to more into use. So this is where she joins the Reapers, and this is where she uses her drawings for bad, for evil, drawing new noises, making armor, or making weapons for the Reapers. Daniel and Melissa are upset because they just experienced one of their friends die. They were so close to losing, but the mission ends up being complete by another team. Day 5 is non-existent. I didn't get that far when I was writing this idea. Again, I wrote this in high school. I never went back to it. Day 6 is also non-existent. I didn't write anything for 5 and 6. I don't think I went that far, but I did write something for day 7. So now we go to the end. So day 7, they fight the big boss. They have another team with them, the one that finished the quest in day 4. So it's 4v1. So they fight the game master, and the game master is just like, I'm too strong. I have like unlimited power because of the artist and the army she drew up. This is where Joshua comes in. So Joshua comes in, and it's like, it's not fair that they have unlimited power. They beat the game, and then someone from above comes down. It's like, congratulations, you beat the Reapers game. Go out there and live your life. You have a second chance at it. Congrats. Okay, bye. Something like that. You know, it's gonna be more meaningful if I actually wrote this down. If I took the time to actually write down like a speech, it'd probably be deep. So it begins with Daniel walking to school again, but something's different. He doesn't have his music. He wears earphones to block out the world, but like in The World Ends With You, he takes them off in the end, and he's enjoying the sound of life. Melissa, she throws away her knife that she has and decides to live life to the fullest and to appreciate the people she has around her. Like the ending of The World Ends With You, she makes a deal with Daniel, like, let's meet up and become friends. We see like the other players, but it's like, it's more like of a like, hey, how's it going? They decide to hang out with like the other players just one time, like, hey, let's appreciate each other in the real world. We see them having fun together, appreciating life, being friends. And then roll credits, post-credit scene, I don't know, I was thinking just Joshua sitting looking over the city, and it's like, that group of friends reminds me of the time with Neku. But yeah, that's day 7, the end. So now that the story is done, so now let's talk about the small references and Easter eggs for this film. Let's go down to characters. Daniel, like I said, is kind of like me in high school, where the edginess comes in, with me like not knowing who I am and who my friends are. And I wanted to have a little bit of Neku in him, but like earphones. So again, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see like the concept art of these characters and what I think they will look like. So Daniel, I was gonna give him like a colored up shirt that I have, you know, the Nomura style of having random zippers. And it's funny because that shirt that I have in my closet actually has random zippers. There's zippers that you can open up and it's just nothing. In high school, I had an iPod. I don't know where I got this. My mom gave this to me, and it was like a necklace with earphones. So you just like connect your iPod and it just dangles there. And then I was like, you know, that's something cool and interesting, and it's something that Neku has. Daniel has this necklace MP3 player or iPod connected to it. Melissa, the sassiness that she has reminds me of someone I used to know back in high school, so I kind of based it off her. Of course, when I was writing this, I was in high school, so it's just someone that I knew. I wanted to give Melissa like a nice like little style of being cute but also being like tough. Let's talk about everything else. How I was going to film this, how there was going to be like, I guess, a style of The World Ends With You in this film. When Melissa and Daniel are running around in like the city, it was going to be like the way Neku and Shiki ran around in the city. Like, it's going to be like overhead, you can see them running around. I was going to have the player pin on his backpack strap, and when he touches it, he's like, open up your senses, like Neku. I wanted to have like that green orb, you know, the green orb that's in the game. I wanted to add that in the film somewhere, somehow. I think when they do like a team attack, you know, it comes out. I just wanted to put a lot of The World Ends With You, like a lot of like the small stuff in the game into the film, so that when, you know, people who played the game can see the film and be like, oh shit, like I know what that is, you know, like a little Easter egg or a little reference. Title of this film, The Reaper's Game. They say it all the time in like The World Ends With You, like in the game, like you're playing the Reaper's Game. So I guess it was like natural to make that the title of this film. I wanted them to have a little break from the game they're playing. Like, let's say they have like 4 hours to complete a mission. You know, I wanted to have like this little montage-ish like scene where they jump around different shops, they go to different food stands. There's gonna be like the symbol showing which shops they're able to go into and interact with. And I was gonna have a scene where Melissa buys food and snacks. So when Melissa gives Daniel food, he says like some of the lines that Neku say when you give him food. He's like, it's edible. I'm like, all right, that's my favorite. And when they take a break, I wanted to have like Game Over playing in the background, because that was like the main menu song in the DS version of the game. I wanted to put a lot of the small stuff in The World Ends With You into this film, just so it could have that touch of, you know, The World Ends With You. So yeah, I guess that's it for The World Ends With You live action adaptation film, The Reaper's Game. I tried to include everything that I wrote down. I wrote down 10 pages, and that was the beginning of the film. So that's it. Yeah, that's The World Ends With You. That's the Reaper Game that I wrote in high school. Again, I'm gonna have like the concept art of the characters on my Instagram. That's the end of this video. Let me know what you guys think of The Reaper's Game, the live action adaptation of The World Ends With You. Leave a comment down below to tell me what you think, what you liked, what you hate, what you would change, what you would include. Let me know. If you guys want to see more videos like these, let me know. In college, I actually wrote a live action adaptation of Persona called Persona LA. It could mean Persona Los Angeles or Persona Live Action, but I actually wrote it. I wrote 2 episodes. Like always, have a great day or night, or wherever you are. Stay home, stay safe, stay blessed, and get vaccinated. Alright? Okay.